Hello everyone. So recently I made this painting and I just thought that I should share the glimpse of this the process and I'm sure that this process is going to help you. So if you have not subscribed this channel, so please go ahead and subscribe this and click on the bell icon so you'll get a notification. So I was started with sketching, and as I told you many times that sketch is super important. And we are going to start the layer one, which is so much exciting thing. And recently, I've just ran one poll, and I've asked people that do you really enjoy making your first layer, and how is it? How easy it is? Do you see like this is easy process or it's very hard? And majority of people they said in Instagram actually I've run this. So they said like majority of people like around 75% of people they said like this first layer is super easy. so so yeah, that's true. For many of us it's true. It's because you really don't need to struggle much and all, but somehow I disagree also, because it's not necessarily that your first layer is really easy. Yeah, I mean, cognitive mind, it doesn't give you much, much pressure, and you just put color as you wanted to go ahead. But but basically, the first layer is the personality of your painting, right? And you need to be very careful when you are applying for first layer, so you should be very much sure that what is the kind of a personality you wanted to give your painting, right? And the first layer actually tells you that. So it's a directional, it gives you the direction, because when you go for a second layer, your first layer should be visible somewhere. And that's the beauty of the watercolor. When you make the first wash, is as I'm doing, uh, so this basically gives you a complete flexibility. Of course, that's the reason that people feels like this is super easy and I can just do the whatever I wanted to do. But second layer and the final layer of paintings is something like it it keeps you very engaged, in the various aspect of watercoloring, right? So as you can see here, I'm just doing my first layer, and before starting going ahead, I would request you to please visit my website. And if you are beginner, or if you have been painting watercolor and you are struggling with that and you want to grow, right? So please check this website. I will send you the free trial lesson, so you can just go through it, understand how basically the watercolor works. And I'm sure this is going to be really helpful for you, right? So link is there, link I have given down, right? So just go and check that, and meanwhile I'm, I'm just continuing doing a little bit of tweaking here and there in my first layer itself. And once your first layer you feel like okay, I'm done with that, let them completely dry. Don't work on that. As you can see here, I just kept it here. My first layer is completed, and you can see that personality, right? You feel a lot of people feel like okay, I should stop this because the first layer itself is a good. Okay, I don't want to paint further, right? Right. So that's why it is. So let it dry, and here we come second layer, and the second layer is something. It's a lot of people, they feel like, oh my God, I have to paint the second layer, because second layer is basically tells you everything, and majority of work you will be doing in your second layer. You can say like a 90-95% of the painting you will completing in your second layer, right? And that's what I'm just doing it here. I'm so sorry if you are not able to see this thing, because I have just kept my camera in a very wrong direction. I, I apologize for this. But yeah, I mean, the whole point here is I just wanted to make one building which is far, and how you will how you'll define if some objects are very far, and the far is something like you can make it using the cool color, it's a kind of a composition. You see, the front building is I have used the ultramarine blue and mixed with burnt sienna, and that gave me a some bit of depthness, right? So that's a kind of the composition or the the variation I'm getting in my painting. But yeah, I mean, whenever you wanted to make things a little lighter, so you can see here I'm using this, and there's a lot many water, and I don't want to give it too much emphasis here. I don't want to be very much striking here. So that's the reason there's a lot of water and comparatively little less color, as you can see in a front one compared to the previous background, right? I mean, this background one, right? And now I'm just here painting, giving a personality, working around the depth and light, and that's the key here. And then you you'll observe throughout this painting that how I am working with depth and light, the source of the light, how the lights are falling, and where the shadows actually has to come, and all of that. And watercolor is all about that, right? Uh, and that's what you'll see here, how I'm using the depth color, and wherever I want, I just sprinkle the water and get the beauty of the water. I enjoy, personally I enjoy it, but a lot of people they don't enjoy this special process when you are sprinkling the water, and how beautifully it gives you a texture. I personally I really liked it. So most of my painting I use that. I use a lot, because I want this watercolor to be look like water and the flow of water all the time, and that gives you a very beautiful texture at the end of the day. So that's the thing. And here you can say it's the third layer. So right, you can say third layer, but actually we are doing a second layer and the third layer in the same time, because you wanted to tell the story, and you want to complete the story in this layer itself, right? In a second layer, you can just say second layer or third layer, you can just do everything. Mainly, if I would call it the third layer, when you complete third layer is basically giving a little bit of the depth and light, and some bit of composition, balancing the entire painting. That would be. But second layer is basically it talks everything. It gives you you will be doing everything, right? So that's what I'm just doing here. And as you can see here, I told you, right, I'll be using all the time how depth and light works, and that's exactly I'm doing here. So I'm using this little darker color. And if you're wondering how I made this, I never use the black color. And people said, like, people are saying, you should not use white or black in a watercolor and all. But that's the defined process in watercolor. I mean, obviously, I mean, you should not use it, because if you're leaving the white, the paper white, that looks very beautiful, fresh, and it gives you an immediate, you know, the a pretty beautiful, the treatment you will get once you see that your white paper. But coming to the point, how I'm using this the darker color. I'm using ultramarine blue and mixing with burnt sienna, and that gives me very beautiful depth wherever I want. And I play with the various the various hue of this paint, I mean this color. So wherever I want darker, I use a little more these color, ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And if I want to make it lighter, I'll just make a little bit of water there, so I'll get a variation into my painting, right? And coming to this tree, I I'm not good at I shouldn't say this, but because I don't want to demotivate myself and as well as you guys. But the truth is, there is a various way you can make a tree. I mean, you can make a very relief sort of painting the tree, or you can make it a very in a one go itself. You'll complete your tree. But I'm just trying to give use the my brush texture here, and getting some bit of texture from from the water. so so that's the combination of things I work whenever I paint tree, and sometimes I go crazy. I just go crazy. so and that craziness gives me an ability to paint however I want to. And that's exactly I'm just doing it here. As you can see here, how I'm using the water. And I told you, I'm a big fan of uh, the water, how it flows, and it finds its own way, right? You cannot stop, you cannot direct water in a certain way you want, right? So they will find their way, and that's where exactly they are doing it, right? The same thing here. I'm just using these water on the tuk-tuk. If you don't know about the tuk-tuk, is a lot of people say tuk-tuk, but in India we call it tempo. A very wonderful, and convenient way to commute in India. I personally I enjoy it, and I'm sure if you have visited, if you are outside of India and if you have visited India, you must have, or you should travel in this beautiful mode of commuting stuff, which we call it auto rickshaw. But yeah, now you can see here how I'm using the depth, right? And how I'm leaving some of your first layer visible, and that's the key. And that's the thing you should focus all the time, right? And how I'm just giving these shadow, and how things are falling in place. If you also need to see like where is the source of my light, and things like that. And I always do some bit of scratching here and there with my nails, but you should be very careful because it might hurt you, so be careful. uh, so yeah, so this is the composition I have made it for this auto rickshaw, and a little bit of tweaking here and there, giving a little highlight here and there. And that's the problem with myself because i cannot I cannot stop myself doing some crazy thing. and and sometimes I also feel like, oh my god, how much work I've did. I mean, I should not make it a minimal effort, right? But as an artist, you'll never be satisfied, and you will be feeling like, okay, I should do a little bit here and do it. And at the end of the day, you will see, you have done a lot many things in a painting, and your painting looks like, oh my God, you did so much of thing here, which overwhelming, right? So now see the water, how it is flowing. I love it. I love it. I I don't know. Personally, it it makes me so happy. And that's the end and every end of the painting, and that's the that's the goal you should have. Unfortunately, many of the people they paint it, and they fail after the completing their painting. They're not happy. They, oh my god, I've not done something's not good and all that. Let's just leave that. That will come automatically. Trust me. The perfection things and all like that, those things will come by itself. You really don't need to worry about that. What you really need to worry about is how you should be consistent. So creating a consistent painting is the key, and you should be focusing on that, instead of just you know just thinking about why or what things gone wrong, and if you have things like that also, which makes you makes which makes things more unpleasant, right? So stay away from that. Make a lot of artwork. Here you can see I know, like, when I'm making this artwork, I know there are a lot of things I could have done it, which could have done it much better. But that's the that's there in my mind somewhere. But I'm not killing my experience. I'm not killing my pleasure thinking about all of that. I clearly see that there is opportunity, there is space, there is a scope where I can improve this painting. I could have done a much better painting, but why? I mean, I should not think all about what I have right now. Let's enjoy that. Let's enjoy that wherever you are, wherever, whatever the painting you are doing it. Be happy with that, and that's the most important and most lovable thing you will be doing. So you'll create a joy within you and the entire process, whatever you're doing. Make that such a joyful moment, and you'll always remember those joyful moment, no matter what it is, how bad it is. Right? Just enjoy that. I have done so many bad painting in my life, and those paintings are still with me. And I'm sure sometime I will share that I will share that with you. Right, so now you see here how I'm composing this painting. You must have thinking, what the hell I'm doing here? And yeah, you're right. And sometimes you need to compose this painting, right? And that's why I'm telling you to do a lot of sketch. The sketch will tell you the pencil sketch, or even if you don't want to do pencil sketch, you can do the brush itself. Make it a sketch, a very random sketch, which tells you how to compose your painting, how to packaging your painting, I would say, whatever you call it. But the whole idea is to make the viewers see from where they will start, where the things will end. So that's the certain rules for that. And probably I'll just talk about in some of my videos how to compose that. And I'm sure I have already created many videos around that topic, but I'll make sure that I'll create another one for you guys. And I'm sprinkling with the bottle with my finger or whatever it is, whatever the possible way I can do that. That's the way I do it. All I want is some beautiful water texture. And that's what we are doing. And I'm creating here the human. It's a group of people there walking on the street nearby, and I'm just giving some color and playing with depth and light. In many of video I have already done this, so please check that video. I will You will get somehow it has been done. I'm sorry I'll not able to create this entire process. I'll not able to show you the entire process, but yeah, I mean, you will get this. And here I'm in final stage of my artwork, and here you can see my final artwork. So let's see this artwork. And I'm super excited whatever I did, and just enjoying the entire composition of this painting. Now see here I have used all possible color, like a very possible in the sense, like very limited color, but I've just tried to make it look more colorful because I'm from India and India is supposed to be colorful. Right? So yeah, that's the composition I have. And this is one of the most beautiful thing every watercolor artist do, even you, is that when you are taking out your masking tape, and the I can't express that. It's a beautiful moment. Yeah, I if you have been painting watercolor, you will understood like what I'm talking about. You'll feel really good. You'll get an emotional. I usually get very emotional when I see my artwork, when I take out the masking tape and I'll keep this in front of me. I just keep staring. I'm just keep looking at this painting, you know, I just keep it in floor, I'll keep it somewhere else, and I'm just keep watching the painting, and I just take a lot of introspection, a lot of thoughts around, enjoying the some of the things, a lot of things are happening, right? So here it is, my final artwork. And if you have I would again suggest you to I would request you to please subscribe my channel and visit my website if you wanted to learn and grow with a watercolor. So thank you so much everyone, and I'll be coming with a new video very soon. Thank you.